Welcome to the deep dive. Here, we take the material you give us, dig into it, and pull out the key insights for you. Think of it as your shortcut to understanding the heart of the matter.
And today, we're diving into a source you highlighted. The debut episode of a podcast called Madrid. The title is Not Just a Club, a Breath.
Right, and our mission here, it's really to get inside the heads, or maybe the hearts, of Real Madrid fans. We want to understand their perspective on the club right now, the highs, the lows, the hopes, all based on what's said in this first episode.
Exactly. This isn't just about X's and O's, is it? It's about that deep, emotional connection fans have, especially when things aren't going perfectly.
Okay, let's jump right in then. The host of Madrid, Abdo, kicks things off saying something pretty powerful. When it comes to Real Madrid, my heart speaks differently. That sets the tone, doesn't it?
It really does. It's not just, casual support. He's talking about something almost physical, visceral, that feeling he mentions, being truly alive when Madrid plays.
Yeah, that sense that the club's performance directly impacts your own feeling of being alive.
It taps right into why people love sports, I think. That emotional roller coaster, the pure joy, the frustration, the hope, especially during those famous Madrid comebacks.
And the name itself, Madrid. Madrid taking your breath away, but also giving it back with glory. It's quite poetic.
It is, isn't it? It perfectly captures that cycle, the gasp moment, the tension, and then hopefully the massive release of cheering a goal or a win. It's an intense experience.
It sounds intense. They then talk about how that connection starts. Ahmad, one of the hosts, he mentions Özil and Kaká.
Right, as the players who first made him feel like a true Madridista. It's fascinating how one player, their style, or maybe just their presence, can be that spark for someone.
It shows how personal fandom can be, even within this huge global fan base. It often starts with one connection.
Yeah, and Ahmad describes Özil's first touch as a love letter. I mean, that's such a strong way to put it, the emotional weight of just one moment on the pitch.
Absolutely. And Abdo talks about seeing the white jersey for the first time, that iconic kit. It's like a instant symbol.
Definitely. That white shirt carries so much history, so much expectation. For fans, it's more than just colors. It represents a whole legacy, right?
So from those first sparks, they move on to match day itself. Ahmad says, your heartbeat changes. Match day is sacred. He even says you prepare mentally, emotionally, almost like you're playing yourself.
That really underlines it, doesn't it? It's not passive viewing. It's an active participation, a real emotional investment. For these fans, it sounds like it's a huge part of their week.
But then the mood shifts a bit. They start talking about the current season, the frustrations.
Yeah, Ahmad points out that on paper, the squad should be, quote, fire, but the feeling is cold. There's this sense that something important is missing.
Which is a pretty sharp critique, considering the talent they have. You've got Bellingham, Vinicius, Rodrigo.
Exactly. And that's a classic fan frustration, isn't it? When the team looks amazing individually, but somehow the collective just isn't clicking. That lack of spirit or fire, it's intangible, but fans feel it deeply.
Abdo seems to agree. He talks about the big names, but says the team still feels lost, like they don't have that clear direction or that spark.
It suggests a disconnect somewhere, maybe tactics, maybe chemistry, maybe just the overall vibe. When fans say no fire, they usually mean they don't see that relentless intensity, that visible desire to win at all costs.
And this leads them to talk about specific players. Lucas Vazquez comes up.
With the sentiment that, well, maybe his time at the top level for Madrid is over. It sounds harsh, but it reflects the high standards.
It does, especially for a club like Real Madrid. Loyalty is valued, sure, but current performance and future needs often become the priority for fans looking for trophies.
Then there's the flip side, frustration about younger players. Brahim Diaz, Arda Güler.
Right. They show promise, fans get excited when they play, but then they're back on the bench. That must feel like wasted potential to them.
It definitely speaks to that fan desire to see the future being built now. Give the promising kids a real chance, integrate them, let them develop. It's about building for tomorrow, not just today.
And even established players aren't safe from critique. Alaba and Mendy are mentioned.
Yeah, the feeling expressed is that their current level isn't quite meeting expectations, and there are even hints that maybe it's time for them to move on too.
That's quite a statement considering how important they've been. It shows how quickly fan perspectives can shift based on form.
It really does underscore how demanding it is. Sentimentality exists, but results are king. Fans are constantly evaluating if players are contributing enough to the club's ambitions.
Even Lunin, the goalkeeper, faces questions. Is he really Real Madrid quality? That's a tough spot to be in.
Goalkeeping is so critical. Any perceived weakness there gets amplified hugely. It just reflects that expectation of absolute world-class quality in literally every single position.
Interestingly, Vinicius Jr. gets a lot of praise. His effort, his fight.
Absolutely. They recognize his importance, his dedication, but there's also a worry.
Yeah, that he might be getting burned out.
Yeah.
That the system needs to protect him more, not rely on him quite so heavily, perhaps.
That's actually quite insightful, isn't it?
Uh-huh.
It's praise, but also a tactical observation. Maybe there's an over-reliance on his individual brilliance, and the team structure needs to support him better, ease that burden.
Looking ahead, there's massive excitement about Endrick arriving.
Oh, definitely. And a very strong opinion voice that he needs to be integrated immediately, not just sit on the bench.
Fans want to see the future now. They believe he can make an impact straight away.
It's that typical buzz around a big young signing, isn't it?
Okay.
You want to see if they live up to the hype, inject that new energy. The call for immediate integration shows real belief in his potential.
And then, of course, there's the Mbappe situation. Looming large.
Huge anticipation, clearly, but also a kind of realism. They seem to understand that just signing him isn't the whole story.
Right. The club needs to create the right environment. The pressure on him will be immense.
Exactly. Bringing in a superstar like Mbappe changes everything, but the team structure, the tactics, the whole atmosphere needs to be right for him to actually thrive under that massive spotlight.
The management isn't spared either, Carlo Ancelotti.
No. The view expressed in the podcast is that maybe he's out of ideas, perhaps a bit slow to adapt during games.
That's a big claim about a manager with his record.
It is, but it shows that even the most successful managers face scrutiny from passionate fans when results or performances dip below expectations. That slow-to-adapt comment suggests a desire for more tactical flexibility, maybe quicker changes.
So the overall feeling seems to be, well, it's not just about tinkering. They're calling for something bigger.
Yes, a revolution, not just repairs.
Yeah.
That points to a deeper dissatisfaction. They want a significant rebuild, a rethinking of the team's structure, maybe even its core style.
And they get specific about needs, too. Right back, left back.
Strong additions needed there. They even mentioned Trent Alexander-Arnold as the kind of player they want.
Not necessarily him specifically, but someone with that profile.
Exactly. Players with character, top quality, players who provide solutions on the pitch. It shows they've thought about these specific weaknesses and the attributes needed to fix them.
Ultimately, what they seem to be yearning for is that old Real Madrid fear factor.
Yeah, that feeling when Madrid step onto the pitch, opponents already feel intimidated. They talk about the big comebacks, PSG, Chelsea, City, as being part of the club's DNA, not just luck.
That connection to history, to that aura of invincibility, it's clearly very important to their identity as fans.
Deeply important. Recapturing that intimidating presence seems central to their hopes for the future and a big part of the current frustration.
Now, they do acknowledge the legends, Modric and Kroos, their massive contributions.
Of course, huge respect there, but there's also real confidence in the next generation. Bellingham, Valverde, Tchouaméni, Rodrigo.
They see the potential for dominance there, but there's a but.
A crucial one. This potential needs a clear plan, a vision from the club, and importantly, trust from the management to truly flourish.
It's that classic transition phase, isn't it? Honoring the past while building the future. It needs careful handling.
Absolutely. And the podcast hosts, Abdo and Ahmad, they wrap up by really emphasizing where all this comes from.
Which is?
Deep, heartfelt passion, genuine love for the club. These aren't just armchair criticisms, they stem from a significant emotional investment.
So, wrapping up our own deep dive into this Navas Madrid episode, the key takeaway seems to be this intense mix, right?
Definitely. A powerful emotional connection, incredibly high expectations leading to current frustration about spirit and direction.
Yeah.
But underneath it all.
Underneath it all is this deep-seated hope, passionate belief that the club can and should get back to the very top.
Precisely. And, echoing the Navas Madrid guys, if you've listened this far, you probably get that kind of connection, that ability to really feel and live something you're passionate about.
It does make you think, doesn't it? About that dynamic everywhere. Sports, work, hobbies, high passion, high expectations. It fuels both frustration when things go wrong, but also that relentless hope for things to get better.
Yeah, and maybe the perpetual challenge is finding that balance.
Yeah.
How do you respect a great legacy while still making the bold changes needed for future success? That's something to chew on.